training. I took some time to prepare something, so I'm excited for it. Just to give you guys a little bit of background about me. Um, I'm Jett Vance. This will be my third summer doing this job. Um, yeah, a little bit about me. My first summer was kind of unique. I was playing college football, and then I had a really bad injury almost 2 years ago to the date. Coming up on Sunday will be 2 years. Blew out my whole knee, tore every ligament in my knee because of a dislocation, and then I had nerve damage, so I have foot drop. I can't pick up my left foot, so it took me out of football. I was getting married 2 months later, and then I was kind of like, well, crap, what do I do? Like, I need to make money now that I'm married and everything. And so I reached out to one of my buddies who is doing this job. His name is Trey. He's not on here. He's out of town right now. But I reached out to him on like June 20th, maybe a few days before that. And I was like, dude, like, would it be worth me coming out for a minute? He's like, I mean, yeah, it's like halfway through the summer. And I decided I'm the type of guy that's going to bet on myself. So I went out. Within 3 days, I made a decision, and me and my wife were on the road driving to South Carolina with 6 weeks left of the summer. And so I had no idea what I was getting into, but I knew that if I'm willing to bet on myself, then I'm going to take it serious. And I was able to do well for my first 6 weeks of the summer. I was able to sell 63 accounts in those 6 weeks. And then I just took it serious. And I think that's what has helped me get to where I'm at now. I still have a long way to go. A lot of people on this call that I look up to a ton. But that's kind of one of the things I'm talking about is the mindset that it takes for a job like this. And then getting into the pitch and specifically breaking preoccupation and the structure of what the pitch looks like. So it's going to be kind of a
How many did you sell
thing.
your second year, Jett?
Then this last year I was just shy of 200, 185. And so,
let's go.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
Dog, what's your biggest day on doors, Jett? How many have you done in a day?
Say that again.
How many is the biggest you've done in a day? I was baffled.
This summer I was able to get 8 installs in a day, which was a freaking, man, I'll never forget that.
When did you knock the last door? When did you knock the last door on that 8 day?
Ty has a cool story about it, but
let me vouch for Jett Vance.
No,
coolest thing I've seen to this date. Goes and keeps selling. What was it? 10:15 p.m. Knocks a door and sells a senior couple, like old people, and for his 8th
in a competition, right? He was on his way home.
I got to shout out Ron. I can't shout out to Ron because he's right there.
driving home, heard that Ron, he was going up against Ron, heard that he had sold another deal, pulled off to the nearest city, nearest neighborhood. It's 10-something at night, knocks a door, ends up getting it.
And
awesome.
Yeah, and I'll go a little bit more into depth about that, but I can really just accredit it to a mindset thing. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. I hope this goes the way I want it to. Let's see. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm going to see if I can have, well, I might not be able to see you guys, but it's all good. But you guys can see my screen. You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. So it's nothing crazy, but like I said, what I'm going to cover is these 3 points: mindset going into every day, and the structure of the pitch, and then breaking preoccupation. I'm going to talk about breaking preoccupation before I talk about structure of the pitch, but it's pretty simple. And I don't want this just to be me rambling at you guys for the next 45 minutes or so. This is an opportunity for not only you guys to learn, but for me, if not more than anyone, because this was a little bit out of my comfort zone. And so I want to hear your guys' ideas on and thoughts on these 3 points. But starting off with the mindset going into every day, to me, it's everything. I'll go to this next thing. The 3 biggest things I've learned within these 3 points: my mindset. one of the biggest things I've learned when it comes to my mindset is the way that you think about the job is the way you're going to act on the job. This is huge to me because if I'm going out every day, oh shoot, can you guys see me? If I go out every day, and I'm thinking, well, crap, I hope I can get one today. I really hope I can get one. Then that's a sense of, do you know if you're going to get one? Like, I think the biggest thing for me going from my first year to my second year and now going into my third year is really like, I'm driving out to Hood because we all have the nerves. It's not just a first year guy that has nerves on if they're going to sell one in a day or hit their goal. Everyone has the nerves. It's about how are you going to transfer those nerves to be successful. And so when I'm driving out to Hood, I know I'm telling myself every single day, and it continues throughout the day, I can't wait to see, like, I know I'm going to sell. I want to sell 3, but let's go out and sell 4. Like, I'm thinking, okay, where is my first deal going to be? I'm assuming that I'm going to get that sale, just like you hear people talk about that during the pitch. I'm assuming that I'm going to find those deals. I just got to, okay, which house has 2 cars in the driveway? I want to hear some of your guys' thoughts. Zach, you're in the middle of my screen. Maybe about what are you thinking going out in the doors? You're on your way to Hood. What are some of the things that you are, saying and telling yourself?
I don't think that I really have an issue with that. You're absolutely right. I'm trained, or Dan taught me a long time ago, we don't try. Trying is like a curse word in my vocabulary, and I don't let anyone around me, even just in daily life, tell me they're gonna try to do anything. I'm gonna go do it. I will, and that's it. I'll sell today. Like how many?
Sweet.
I'll get 3. I'll get 2. And then
Totally.
I get out, and then every day when I get out the van, I always say, "All right, watch this," and I just get out and I go sell every day.
Let's freaking go. Yeah, that's so sick. Like, the fact that it's not even a question for Zach. It's like, yeah, I'm selling 3. No questions asked. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. I love that. And the moment you're getting on the doors, Zach or whoever's having these thoughts, like, you are acting like as if you've already sold 1 or 2 and you're trying to go get your next deal. It doesn't start you're never at 0. You're always, okay, where's my next one? Any other thoughts? Anybody that has a thought to share on mindset?
I like when I'm actually on the doors, I don't know. I just got this for my rookie summer, but just every time I walk up to a door, I'm just like, this is a deal. Like, this is a deal. 100%.
Totally.
Like, outdoor camera's going to go right here. Sign's going to go right here. Like, this is a deal. And I feel like my rookie summer, that really helped me out. Just confidence on every door. Just telling yourself that this is going to be a deal goes a long way for sure.
That's awesome. I love that. I might have a follow-up question for you in a minute, Ron. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Let's see here. So when it comes to the mindset, what are you telling yourself before you get on the doors? We've kind of already talked about that. And then, Ron, I'm going to ask you this question just because I know that there are times, because I've had that same thing. I'm thinking this is going to be a freaking deal. And unfortunately, sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. How are you handling that rejection if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to?
It's their loss, not mine. I mean, that's as simple as that. Like, next door, it's their loss. And a big thing for me is just like timing, like, because genuinely, like, it is all about timing. Like, sometimes they could just be going through something. They could be on their way to work. Like, I'm either telling myself it's their loss or it's just bad timing. Like, if I would have caught them at another time, that's a deal every time. It's just bad timing. And that way I don't get in my head too much about it.
Totally. No, I love that. Go ahead. What were you going to say? I don't know who's talking. I can't see the screen, but
It's Jerry. I was just saying I agree with Ron. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's the timing play a big part. When you trying to kiss somebody that you already you like somebody could be going to work or something and you catching them trying to ask them about something. They don't know you, you know what I'm saying? And you just walking up. So you just I feel like it's just that timing. You got to catch them at the right time. If you catch them at the right time, but sometimes you could also change people's mind. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't be just up to doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Some people just be, you know what I'm saying, just chilling out their day.
100%. I love that. I love that. Because not only is it important to have the mindset when things are going well, but this job isn't easy. Like there's a reason that people make a lot of money in this job, where there's hard work, there's good rewards. Hard work pays off, and that's why it pays well, because people are working hard. It's not just, you're not going to get things done if you're just sitting around. You got to handle the objection and the rejection. So, any other thoughts that could maybe be helpful for some of the people that maybe have never even knocked a door and they might be nervous getting their first no? Like, what are some things that you guys have found that help you throughout getting 10, 20 no's in a row?
One thing that's helped with me, it's like, since I'm new coming to into this, what's helped me is like, instead of coming to the door, instead of like, I know I'm supposed to make a sale, be like, come out, I want to make this sale. What has helped me is like, okay, I'm looking for my next conversation. Like, I'm coming to the door, okay, what's my next talk to? What's my next conversation gonna be like? So then it'll like help me like build up into getting into it instead of just coming at it like kind of like with a sales mentality, I just feel like that's like what just helped me and put me in a different mindset than a salesperson.
Oh, sorry. You can go.
No, I was just gonna say that's fire.
This is my first year going into it, and before that, I read a book called Never Split the Difference. And in this book, he talks about getting the answer no just gets you closer to getting the answer yes. And so it's just a matter of time before you get the answer yes, and expect the answer no, because then it's going to allow you to eventually get to a yes, and it's allow you eventually get to that sell. And if it's not your person, it's not your person.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great, Christian. One thing that
Jett,
for me, go ahead.
For me,
Mike
it was
raised his
like
hand.
Is that Travis?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, for me, it's a numbers game. One thing that helped me as a rookie is I just had to paint it into a number, and count the inputs. So not necessarily focus on getting a sale, but it's the first day. It's like, I want to get into 3 houses, but to get into 3 houses, I need to knock X amount of doors. And it was all just a numbers kind of game and competition within myself of how many doors can I knock today, how many can I get inside, and then how many can I do a complete walkthrough. And it was just all a competition with myself. And eventually your numbers get better and better until now you know exactly how many doors you need to knock till you should be able to get a sale. And if I am getting a lot of rejections and I'm kind of at that number, I just know one's right around the corner. So it kind of keeps me motivated to stay in it.
That's awesome. Travis, I love that. I think about a similar idea. I remember in the summer, I was reading a book. It's called The Success Principles. And one of the things that I learned in there is the idea, and it goes, it stays on the mindset. But if you knew that it was going to be, like, I'm just going to give you a crazy analogy. You were going to knock on a door and they were going to give you a big fat system. You're going to make a ton of money. Even better, it's going to set up the rest of your summer. They have thousands of leads for you to go sell every single one of them. You're making a fat paycheck because of this. How many doors are you going to knock to get to that point? And I think about that. It's like, you have to knock, because it's not going to be the first door you knock on. It might be the 30th door you knock on. It might be the 100th door that you knock on. One of the biggest things that I've found when it comes to handling rejection is, all right, next, thank you, get out of here. Like Ariana Grande says it best, thank you, next. Like, I'm knocking on this door and I'm moving on, because if that's not my buyer, then I'm going to get to the next person that is the buyer. And thank you for not wasting my time. Did I see a hand raised? Trey.
That was me. What's up, boys? Shirtless.
Hey,
We're
the
in
Hawaii
the
life.
promised land. But I was just gonna say no's and rejection, especially for a rookie, are probably the most valuable thing that a rookie and vets could receive, because that's exactly the prospects are telling you exactly where you need to improve on. That's all they're doing, right? Like, if you're not able to get past the first 4 seconds, they're just quick to say no. It's like, all right, obviously I need to work on this. Like, take note. All right, you're in the close. They're telling you no after you price drop. All right, take note. Like, what do I got to improve on? And take no's is something to learn from, because seriously, and that's how you're gonna get better. So I think no's are great, honestly, because that's really where you can learn from.
Thanks, Trey. I'm gonna keep going. I'm sure everyone has lots of good thoughts, but talking about how you handle success. I'll just cover this one, but it's very simple. Like, you don't want to get too out of control where you're on top of the world and then you're getting told no in a couple of doors, and then your world got rocked. But staying consistent with your success is very important, and it's all about what you're thinking and what you're telling yourself. You get done with a deal, the best time to sell a deal is right after you just got done with selling another deal, because you're on that high. And if you can find that high and carry it throughout the rest of the day, then you'll find success, and you won't be too on top where you're thinking everything is going to just be amazing the rest of the season. Because sometimes if you set yourself up for too high of expectations, sometimes it can get you down. But if you stay consistent, Benji and Sean, I've heard them talk about being at a 7, like being at a 7 constantly on a scale of 1 to 10. You're not too stoked because you don't want to burn out, but you're not down in the dumps. Being at a 7, and finding that number yourself is important, but staying at a consistent mindset of positivity. Like Ron said, next door, all right, they're lost. Like, this is a deal. Freak, they didn't answer, or they didn't want it. They're lost. This next guy, he's the one. They get it. All right, next door, that's the one. It's all about staying consistent with your mindset. And then the last one when it comes to mindset is, how are you reflecting on your day? What does your reflection of the day look like? Any thoughts? Like, because that's an important part. Who has something to share about that? What could somebody share about what does their reflection of the day look like? Baron.
I would say a big thing that helps me is just like counting every little yes. Like, if somebody, offered me a water or something, and let's say I didn't sell, I'm just not downing on myself after the end of the day and just not thinking about the bad things. That makes sense.
Sweet. No, that's huge. That's pretty much what I was going to say, Baron. Reflection of the day is very important. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in some way or another, reflecting on your day. That could be journal writing. That could be talking about it with your spouse. That could be talking about it with one of your boys. Reflecting on what went well and what went bad. I think the biggest thing when it comes to that, though, is counting those little wins, finding the little wins that did go good, because there are times where it's been a long day or a long summer. Those little wins that you can look for every single day, because they are there every single day. Those can keep you pushing forward. Always reflect on your day, whether it was the best day of your season or the worst day of your season. It's important to reflect on the day and reset. Next day is a new day. I saw a couple of hands. Brad, did your hand raise?
Yeah, what's up, Jett?
What's up,
I
Brad?
just had a thought about this. I remember during my first summer, it's kind of counterintuitive, but the most destructive thing I could do at the end of the day was be complacent about the work that I did. Meaning, like, if I had a good day, I couldn't be like, dude, that was so sick. That's gonna pad me for the rest of the week. I sold 4. Oh, let's go. Right. I can do this. In fact, actually, the day I sold the most was still one of the weeks that I sold the least amount, right? Because I went out and I sold 7 in a day. Jett, I didn't know you did 8, so now I have to beat I have to beat you, bro. But I did 7 and I was like, I'm on top of the freaking world. I got 1 for every single day. And I think the next day I was a little complacent because I only sold 1 that day, and then went through the next of the week and I bageled a couple times. And so I think like celebrating your wins and then realizing that it's not enough. That's something I'm looking forward to going into the summer that I'm not going to do again.
That's huge. No, I love that. I love that what you said. It is important. And that goes back to staying that consistent, not being too on top of the world, because yeah, you could get complacent in those senses. So moving on. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. I kind of feel bad that I'm just going back and forth. Pat, is it ruining the recording of the training at all, or no?
No, it'll be fine.
Nah, bro, we're in your world.
Let's freaking go. All right. Going into the pitch. And keep in mind the mindset stuff, because that has a ton to do with the pitch. First thing when it comes to the pitch, the most important part of the pitch is the first 15 seconds. And a lot of that 15 seconds is breaking the preoccupation. And so I just have these 4 bullet points. I could have put a ton of different bullet points, but these are the first ones that came to my mind. Don't be too much. Be the boss / be in charge. And outside is your office. This is one of my favorites. And then don't start with anything too cheesy. I think some of the biggest issues that people run into when they're thinking about breaking preoccupation is they're trying to be the guy that's, hey, sir, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Hey, I like your grass. Your grass is awesome. Who does your lawn? Like, you can tell when somebody's being fake, and you can tell when somebody's being genuine. And in my opinion, that genuineness sometimes can wait. It doesn't have to be there right off the bat when it comes to, complimenting somebody's grass. If there is something that you do find that you could totally talk about, then I think that's important. Like, if I'm seeing, a university flag and I can find a way to relate with it, then I'm totally going to talk about it, because people love talking about themselves. And so don't be too much. That one's pretty basic. You don't want to be the person that is, barking at them when they don't feel like it's even a two-way conversation. It's just one person barking at the other. I'm going to back up to right here. In breaking preoccupation, this is what I've learned. You have to be different or do something different that will make the homeowner see you differently than just an annoying door-to-door salesman. One of the things I think about that I laugh at every time I hear it is a story, and I don't know if it's even true, but Sean, I don't know if he's on here. He would be just chomping on a carrot when he knocks on the door. He's knocking on the door, chomping on a carrot, and the homeowner, their first thought isn't, what's the salesman doing on my door? They're thinking, what? This is a guy chomping on a carrot on my front porch? Like, what the heck? That simple enough can be a way to break preoccupation. When I say be the boss / in charge, what I'm talking about is you have to be seen as the professional on the doorstep, or else people are just going to try to boss you around and tell you what to do, when really it's our job to be the professional and take them step by step. And so this is about bullet point number 3. Outside is your office. This is something that I think to myself every single day. When I'm knocking on a door, I'll knock and I'll go, 5 to 10 feet back from the door. I'll be chilling. I might be on my phone, but I'm not distracted. I'm not like scrolling on Instagram or something. I'm pretending that, maybe I'm responding to a text, or I sometimes even will look up like I'm like concerned about their house or something, or I'll be looking at where I could put an outdoor camera. And then they answer the door to me, And my mindset going into it is they're opening the door to my office because the outside is my office. Just like you'd walk into a doctor appointment or somebody's office, you're opening their door most of the time, or knocking their, come in, they're opening the door for you. That's how I view these homeowners. They're opening the door for me. And so now it's my job to get them to listen to me. And so that goes into a little bit of the pitch. But before I move on, I want to ask just a few thoughts, just because that's what I'm hoping that we can get from it. We can all learn. What are some other different ways? Maybe there's some sayings, and I'll get into some sayings that are ways that you guys have found that work to break preoccupation. Anything? If not, that's okay. Jakai, you got a hand up?
Yeah. Like I say a joke. Like
Like
lately
what?
I've been I'll be like, are you the homeowner or are you just robbing a place? I got that from Nate. And then like
Sweet.
it's not just saying it, like you actually gotta say it, like with the tone of voice, like how he was saying. Because if you sound like a robot, like, hey, are you the homeowner? Or are you just robbing a place? They're not gonna be really feeling it. But if you're like, hey, like, are you the homeowner or are you just robbing a place? And like you actually laugh, they actually laugh. Now it's like they not really too mad that they came to the door.
I love it. No, I think jokes are a great one. If you find the right person, sometimes a joke can be the biggest teller. I one of my favorites, I'll say a joke, and I'll say, if I see like a cool car or something, like if I was knocking on, I know Zach has a Supra, so if I was knocking on Zach's door, I'd be, hey, what's up, man? I'm just here to, test drive the car real quick. And I'll just stare at him. Like, and they're like, what? And they might be kind of a jerk. I'm like, no, yeah, just to test drive the car. Like, nah, bro. I was like, all right, I'm just playing. And then they might laugh. Like, something simple, catching their attention. Their first initial thought isn't me trying to sell them something. It's me trying to get inside their car. Like, the homeowner, you just robbing the place. Same idea. Like you're catching them off guard with just something that they're not expecting. Any others real quick? Mike?
Yeah.
Sure. So I mean, you hit the nail on the head, but I tell a lot of my guys. So the number one, they did like a study, I think it was like Harvard or some prestigious university that studied salesmen across all industries. And they studied like the top traits that the top salesmen had. And the two are relaxed and dominant. And like you pretty much said it, like being calm demeanor, that's being relaxed. And then being dominant, like, hey, step into my office. So even when you talk about breaking preoccupation, most of the salesmen that came up to their door before, they were probably nervous, like you said, super jumpy, maybe super high energy. And just your demeanor breaks their preoccupation because they haven't had somebody at their doorstep that had that attitude of like, hey, this is my office. So that in itself is an icebreaker, just by how you are when they answer the door. So
1000%. I love that. No, yeah, I think, man, that's one of the biggest things, like viewing yourself as someone that's not just there to be some lousy or sleazy salesman that's being annoying on the doors. Like oftentimes, and again, it goes back to mindset, but like I'm viewing myself as the dude in a construction helmet with my Carhartt pants on and my boots on saying, hey, look, you need to move your car out of the driveway. We got some construction to do in here. Like, they're going to listen to a dude that looks like that. And sometimes even just putting that off in a way of not being not being a dick or anything, but like being that dominant guy on the front door is going to help you. And it's just confidence. You can be completely respectful doing it, but it's asserting that dominance, being the boss. They're stepping into your office and then you're taking the control. And that is going to break the preoccupation itself, like Mike just said. So, and then I don't need to touch too much on the last bullet point of don't be too cheesy. I kind of hit it on it with don't be too much. Like, you have to be different. You have to be different. You can't just be the same guy. Hey, how's it going? My name's Jett. I'm just here with, XYZ company. And like you have to get them out of their shell. They have a line at their front door, and you need them to cross that line. You need them to get moving, get out there, make it a conversation. Don't just be flapping your gums at their face. So, let's go to the next point. Sharing my screen again.
Adam, you had a question?
Oh, sorry. If there are questions,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Can you explain what preoccupation is? Because I'm not sure I know what that means in this context.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, Adam, basically, preoccupation is simply put, every single person that you knock on their door, they're going to be doing something before you knock on their door. They're going to be occupied. Sometimes it's going to be a mom is cooking dinner. They're occupied with cooking dinner. You have to break that to catch their attention. It's maybe another word for it is, they're an attention getter. Like I was saying, Sean chomping on a carrot. They're not initially thinking, this guy needs to get off my porch because, he's chomping
Finding a
on
way
a
to
carrot.
grab their attention away from
Yep.
whatever it was they were doing before they came to the door that you knocked on.
Perfect. Yep, that's the best explanation right there. Because that takes down their guard so that they will actually listen to you. If their guard is up the whole time, that's half the time the people that are saying no, not interested, because it's just a smoke screen. You haven't maybe done the best on getting their occupation broken or their preoccupation broken. Does that answer that question, Adam?
Absolutely does. Thank you very much.
Sweet. Any other questions?
Great question.
All right, let's go to the structure of the pitch. And you're going to, within this, you're going to see some ways of breaking the preoccupation. Let's see. Oh, well, we kind of already had some ideas about this. So here's the structure, okay? And this is pretty customizable for what you find to work for yourself. But roughly, this is what my pitch, or pretty much anyone in the company, is what their pitch is, like I said, roughly going to be structured around. Who you are, why you're there, what's in it for you and what's in it for them, and then pull back and transition. Now, sometimes I'll just be honest. Sometimes I'm not the best at explaining right away who I am, because same thing. I feel like a lot of times it's the same thing that almost every other person that's going to be knocking on their door is going to be doing. So depending on who I'm talking to, like for example, if it's an older lady who's a single older lady at home, lives by herself, I'm gonna be, hey, how's it going? I'm Jett. I'm with Brinks. We're just doing a little bit of advertising. So that's me saying why I'm there. We're doing a little bit of advertising because we got called out here, mainly because of, whatever it could be. It could be because the new move-ins. It could be because the crime rate is high. It could be because we are updating old systems, because the neighborhood has seen a bunch of different changes. But that's why you're there. I'm Jett. I'm with Brinks. I'm here because, let's say it's new move-ins. It's a new neighborhood. I'm here because we've had a lot of calls, because obviously you've seen a ton of people are moving in. And so one of the first things they're going to be doing when they move in is they're going to be getting cameras and security for their home. So we just want them to use us. Okay. So we're doing a little bit of advertising. So we are just selecting 5 homes, because you're right here on this corner. We're just going to put, and listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying we are going to do this. We're just going to put this little blue sign in your front yard. This way, I'm not asking permission. This is me being respectfully in charge and being the boss. We're just going to put this little blue sign in your front yard. This way, the neighbors that are looking to get cameras or that are looking to move into this neighborhood can see that, Brinks is in the neighborhood. They can just call the number on the sign and get cameras over the phone. So obviously we'll help you out for helping us out. We'll compensate you as a thank you for helping us advertise. In return, what we're going to do for you is Brinks is just going to front the cost of the basic system for your house. That's me telling them what's in it for them. Okay. Then my pullback, and I'll go into a little bit more detail, but just for the sake of time and just the structure of what this is, I'm telling them what's in it for them. I might tell them about a few pieces of equipment. I might tell them, we're fronting the cost. We're only doing this for 5 people. So we're selecting you to be one of our 5 people, yada, yada, yada. and then I'm pulling back and I'm transitioning. So I just, like I said, I'm only doing 5 of these. Not every single person is just going to be one of our advertisement homes. So I'm just going to submit your address to Brinks to make sure that they actually approve of your home to be one of our advertisement homes. And as long as they do, like I said, we'll front the cost for you. So we'll get you a system completely customizable to whatever, Brinks allows in the house based on a budget. But the hardest part about my job is just actually finding the 5 that approve. So I'll just submit your address real quick. You got a table I could just set my iPad at. There's my transition. Okay. I don't know if I went too fast. I know I sometimes tend to speak a little fast when I'm doing all these when I'm on the spot, but does that kind of answer some questions, or maybe help people understand what a structure of the pitch looks like? Any questions? Any questions or anything like that? Pretty simple, right? Who you are, why you're there, what's in it for you, what's in it for them, and then pull. There's 5. Who you are, why you're there, what's in it for you, what's in it for them, and then pull back and transition. This structure is very important because it's really not. I have this. It's in that first slide. The 3 things I've learned, and I write. It's not really about what you say. It's about how you say it, because every single person throughout the company roughly is going to be saying the same thing. The difference between the people that are doing great and the people that might be struggling is how they're saying it. Okay. So it's pretty simply put that way. I mean, you have why you're there. I could tell you a pitch in 5 sentences. Hey, my name's Jett. I'm just doing a little bit of advertising in the neighborhood. That's who I am, why I'm there. What's in it for us? We just want people to use us. And so in return for, if you're willing to help us advertise, we're going to give you a basic system. We'll just front the cost of a basic system. I just have to make sure that Brinks actually approves of your home to be one of our 5 or whatever number advertisement homes. Okay. You got a place I could just set my iPad real quick. So simple. And then, like I said, it's not necessarily about what I say, it's about how I say it. So the thing that I would say, the best piece of advice for people that might be doing this for their first time, maybe this is your first call. My advice to you guys is write down your pitch in 5 sentences. Okay. Make it so simple. And then when it gets to a point that you understand that pitch so simply, then, like, if any of you have younger siblings or somebody, maybe a little cousin or anything, like, pretend like you're telling it to them. Like, put it so simple, almost to the point of, like, okay, how much more do I need to explain this to you? All we're doing is this. And if you have that confidence in going about your pitch, then you'll be able to have that confidence when you're talking to people on the doors, because essentially all they want is the basic, simple truth. Don't beat around any bushes. You're there to do business, but they want that business back. If they're not, basically what I'm trying to say is you have to match that same tone that they're giving you. If somebody's going to be super nice and friendly and talk, you can match that same tone. But if you have some hard A at the door that doesn't want to freaking talk at all, then you have to match that same tone and be the boss. You have to be there and tell them, hey, this is what we're doing. And if they're like, well, I'm not interested, then all right, well, I don't even know if I can do this for you guys. So I'll just submit your address real quick and see if they even approve your home. Any questions or thoughts of things maybe that people have ran into that they need help overcoming or anything like that? No, that's fine, because I have a couple more things. Oh, Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, you're totally right. It's about how you say it. I know a big thing that will establish dominance and show you're calm is just simply slowing down. And I know
Totally.
it sounds stupid. Like every time I go to Jackson, I'm like, dude, what can I do better? And he goes, slow down. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I do it and it works. And I think it's right. But yeah, huge thing is just slowing down. It shows confidence. It shows that whatever objection they throw at you, you don't really care about. You're just there to do your job. And so I think that's it. For me, it's a huge thing I have to remind myself every day. I naturally speak really fast. And so I notice it's like night and day difference every time I just slow down and I'm more calm and like slow about my words on the pitch. People naturally will listen more. They'll have more questions. They'll show more interest. And so I think that's just a huge thing. Like you said, it's all about how you say it. I could say the same exact thing in two different ways and it'll work totally different.
1000%. I love that you said that. I think I needed to hear that just for this meeting. I think I'm like talking crazy fast. So no, thank you, Alan. Nate, were you going to say
Alan,
something?
Are you getting that confidence and going door to door on that Polaris, that quad bike? Is that how you're getting your confidence this summer? Like rolling over people's mailboxes and like running into their yard on that Polaris you won. That's the confidence there.
Yeah. Anybody
Dude,
that
that
doesn't know
Polaris
again,
is sick.
torn up.
Dude, you should
For
go door to
anyone
door with that
that doesn't know,
thing.
Alan won a electric quad bike in a company raffle this year. And he
Not
looked very
electric, it's gas,
confident
Nate.
riding
Come
that
on.
thing. I tell you, I saw a video on Instagram, and I was
Dude, I
imagining
saw that
you
same
riding door
video.
to door on that Polaris. Boom, boom, boom. Woo!
Dude, I
Yeah,
think we all
anybody that
need a
doesn't know this
Polaris.
summer is getting their yard torn up.
Dude, just go
Very confident.
do donuts and just, hey, did you see that guy doing donuts? No, I didn't see him. Oh,
Oh, you need
next
cameras.
time, get some cameras.
There you
You'll
go.
see him
Camera.
next time, I swear. No, that's sweet. The freaking Polaris. Lucky dog. So sorry, getting off topic, but let me just go back to here. Basically the last thing I wanted to cover is just going back to your mindset, because your mindset, I mean, there are so many times when people ask, so like, what is this job? Is it harder physically or is it harder mentally? It's 1000%, in my opinion, harder of a job mentally. But if you know how to train your mind to being, consistently at, a 7, consistently at a 7, then you can find the times where it is crappy and long and sucks, but you can still see the good times, and that will help you keep going. I wanted to give a quick shout out story to, I don't know if he's on here, but Grant. No, he's not on here. It's all good. The reason I wanted to shout out Grant is because his mindset would be something that I looked up to a ton in the summer. There were so many times where Grant, he wouldn't have sold one yet in the day. He would see maybe three people throughout the group chat get one deal. 5 minutes later, another deal. 5 minutes later, another deal. And it's like 8:30, maybe 8:45 at night. Like people are almost getting picked up. But almost all of the time, Grant would get his deal. If he would get one every single day, he would almost always get it at the end of the day. And I think there's something to shout out about that, because, what is it? Is it just that he found the right person to knock on? Now, maybe that's a little bit of it, but I think a huge part of it is what he was telling himself within those last 15 to 30 minutes of the day. And I know that that's what it was, because we get in the car and it's like, dude, you pull out another one, just like you did last night, just like the night before that. What is it? And he's like, I just tell myself, like, I have to get a deal before it's over. And that confidence that he's portraying to the people that he's knocking on their door, they feel that. Sales is psychology. It's a transfer of energy. And so I just wanted to point that out to any of you guys that feel like they're maybe nervous or scared. Dude, bet on your freaking self. Like, go out there and prove it to yourself that you can do it. Maybe there will be a couple of days where you see a bagel that you hate seeing that, but what are you doing with your mindset to get there? And then keeping in mind everything that your managers are telling you, because dude, the managers, like, they're freaking beasts. I look up to them like crazy. And that's all. That's kind of all I have to say. I wanted to open it up at the end just for questions. Does anybody have any questions regarding your mindset? You know, breaking preoccupation, the pitch, the structure of the pitch, anything, any questions? Nate's laughing about something. I don't know if it's me or if it's something else, but
No, Jakai's forehead. He's like there with like his eye, like one eye.
he just turned his camera off. So
Jett,
well,
that was
sweet.
awesome, bro. Jett is like one of the biggest slingers in the freaking company.
I don't
when
know
I
about
watch
that.
Jett, like every day he's throwing up 3s, 4s. It's insane. So absolutely.
Well, it's because I'm trying to keep up with Nate. So, but hey, if there are no questions, then you know, take the time and the freaking exciting news that we've heard throughout this last week dude, take it serious. Think about the job. Think about the job and take it seriously, because if you take it seriously now, you're going to take it seriously in the summer. It's only going to help you. Nate, go ahead.
What are you doing, Jett? I think you're one of the most consistent guys on the board with big numbers. What are you doing before the doors to help prepare your mindset during the day? You mentioned a little bit about like decompressing at the end, or Benji was talking about decompressing at the end of the day. I think for a lot of rookies, they waste the morning. They every day's like Groundhog Day. They kind of wake up and it's the same, and they're just getting straight into work. How are you? Let me ask this question: what are you doing in the morning, and then how are you not letting other external factors in your life stop you from selling? Because a lot of guys might look at you on this call that have sold for a year, and they're like, "Oh well, Jett didn't have his girlfriend dump him, or Jett's dog didn't die, or Jett's grandma wasn't sick, or Jett didn't stub his toe in the morning, or Jett, didn't crap his pants on the door, or whatever." And the thing is, you probably have bad stuff happen to you in your life, and there's bad stuff that happens to everyone. How is it that your sales aren't affected seemingly? How is it that you keep selling day after day, even when bad stuff happens? So what do you do in your morning, and how do you deal with bad stuff on and off the doors, but stay consistent with your mindset?
I love that question. Honestly, it might be, I don't know. You might want a crazier answer than what I'm going to tell you, for everybody, but like, it starts way before I get on the doors. It starts when I wake up. I'm going to the gym, I'm starting my morning off with a win. I'm making my bed, like as simple as that. And everybody on this call can wake up and freaking make their bed. Like that simple step. Heck, there could be a whole training on the psychology behind that. Like, wake up. I challenge all you, wake up and make your bed in the morning. Like, boom, already freaking one positive thing that's happened. Next thing you do, I'm hitting the gym, and then I'm having a good breakfast. I might go hit pickleball, go play pickleball with me against my wife, maybe me and my wife against another couple on the team. Like, we're doing things to stay positive. And then before our team meeting, I might be eating something else, and I'm playing music. Like, I'm locking in. I take it seriously. Like I said, at the beginning, I used to play football, and the locker room, there's music going crazy, but people also have their headphones in and they're locking in mentally. That's what I was doing. And I'm doing the same thing on the doors here. I'm doing my same schedule every single day to stay locked in, because when I'm locked in, when my mindset is right, when I'm going to the meeting, I'm going to work, or I'm going to freaking ball out. Like, I'm going my at home life, or whatever's going on in my life right now, I'm focusing on what's going on. I'm focusing on what's at hand. I might not be able to control, and you mentioned some genuine things that might be hard. Maybe somebody's girlfriend breaks up with them. Well, guess what? As hard as that is, if you can lock in and focus on what you're doing right then frankly, that doesn't matter. Like, focus on what you can do in that moment. Kind of a long answer, but But no, it really comes down to just being. I could go on and on and on about mindset, how important it is. But yeah, locking in. I'm driving in the car and I got music playing. I have my go-to song of the day. Every day it's the same. Mac Miller, 100 Grandkids, baby. Let's freaking go. For those of you that have been in my car, you've heard me play it. But yeah, to answer that question, Nate, I'm glad you asked that question because it's a simple question. And sometimes it sounds easier said than done, but it is pretty easy to just boom, 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 boom. Same schedule every single day. Derek, we'll take you with the last comment.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what you said. It's just about compartmentalizing. So, God forbid, your dog died all of a sudden that morning. Well, that's not going to change 8 hours from now. The dog is dead. So you could spend the whole day. You can laugh about that. You could spend the whole day, being sad about that. But wait till your job is done and then be sad because nothing's going to change there. It like literally nothing is changing other than your mind.
Facts.
That's just a mindset. Just I'm here to knock these doors, get these sales, keep pushing forward, and then when all that's done, then I can think on this. Then I can do that. It's just compartmentalizing.
I love it, Derek. Derek's a freaking beast. His mindset going into every day last year was these are my options. I've got to make it or make it. Those were his options. And so he made it. So that's all I have to share with you guys tonight. But if you have any questions for me, you can get my number. I'm happy to text you about any questions you have. You can call me. Any of the guys on here, your leaders, they have my number. So freaking love you guys. Hashtag Brinked Up. Let's freaking go, baby.
Thank you,
Brinked
Jett.
up.
That was amazing.
Thanks, Jett.
Hey, Nate, don't you have a diaper to go change?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. You're a swamp ass.
That
All right,
jock
boys.
Yeah, how about you go put a long
Good
shirt
shit,
on?
Jett.
Let's freaking go.
Shrink your clothes in
Benji,
the
anybody
dryer.
on here, they anything to say? If not, I think people are good to sign off. So
Merry Christmas, everyone.
yes, sir.